On May 22, 1992, America bid farewell to Johnny Carson, the man who'd been their late-night companion for 3 decades, tucking them in with wit and warmth. His final Tonight Show wasn't just a TV sign-off. It was the end of a cultural epoch, a moment etched in history as 55 million viewers tuned in, making it one of television's most watched events. But beneath the polished broadcast, filled with laughter, tears, and Carson's signature restraint, lay a tangle of secrets, last-minute chaos, and emotional storms that nearly unraveled the night. A former NBC executive later admitted that what aired was barely 60% of the real story. The rest, clashes, scrapped surprises, and destroyed footage, remained hidden for years. Today, we're ripping open the veil on the strange, startling truths behind Johnny Carson's legendary goodbye, a night of unseen dramas, banned celebrities, and a personal tragedy that shaped every choice. From a near-disastrous collapse to words spoken off-camera that revealed the real Johnny, this is the untold saga of television's most iconic farewell. First, let's uncover the deepest secret: why Carson insisted on May 22nd, a date tied to a heart-wrenching loss that gave the night its soul. "All we have is tonight and tomorrow, and then I'm gone," Johnny said, his voice steady but heavy. Number 10. The hidden meaning of May 22nd. Johnny announced his retirement nearly a year earlier, giving NBC ample time to plan a blockbuster finale. Yet, his choice of May 22nd, 1992, baffled executives, who pushed for a February sweeps slot to maximize ad revenue. Johnny was usually flexible on business matters, a former scheduling exec recalled, but on this, he was a rock. May 22nd or nothing, and he wouldn't say why, except to Fred de Cordova. The truth stayed buried until after Carson's 2005 death, when his confidant and attorney, Henry Bushkin, revealed the date's weight. May 22nd was the birthday of Carson's son, Rick, who died in a 1991 car crash at 39, a loss that shattered Johnny privately while he maintained his public cool. Scheduling the finale on Rick's birthday was Johnny's silent tribute, a secret he shared only with his innermost circle. Johnny never wore his heart on camera, Bushkin said. This was his way of grieving, private, meaningful, his alone. This hidden layer made Johnny's calm farewell achingly poignant, a nod to a son lost, woven into a night the world saw as a career capstone. A production assistant noted Johnny's obsessive control over the show's details, now understood as his need to honor Rick while shielding his pain. "It wasn't just a goodbye to TV," the assistant said. "It was personal, raw, sacred." The television landscape of 1992 was shifting, cable was rising, talk shows multiplying, but Carson's Tonight Show was a singular force, a nightly ritual uniting a fragmented nation. His choice of date set the tone for a farewell that balanced personal loss with professional grace. Number 9. The Phantom Guest Who Vanished. The finale showcased Robin Williams' manic energy and Bette Midler's soulful serenade, but a bombshell surprise guest was planned and axed at the last moment. "We had a secret guest lined up, a moment that would have been TV gold," an NBC page from that night revealed. Stage staircases were cleared, security tightened, a private dressing room sealed off from staff. Whispers pointed to former President Ronald Reagan, smuggled in via an underground entrance to present Carson with a Presidential Medal of Freedom, a real honor arranged secretly through back channels. The network was clueless, a White House aide later confirmed. Johnny wanted the surprise to be pure, no leaks. But 3 hours before taping, Carson caught wind and shut it down. He was furious, a production assistant recalled, overhearing him tell Fred de Cordova, "This isn't a circus. No medals, no politicians. Get him out." Reagan was quietly whisked away, the medal later given privately at Johnny's home. The move was pure Carson, guarding his show's intimacy, shunning pomp. keeping his farewell about the audience, not accolades. It underscored his iron grip on his image, a hallmark of his 30-year reign as late night's king, a man who thrived by connecting with viewers, not elites. Number 8. The erased footage mystery. The finale's polished broadcast hit a bizarre twist. Most of its raw footage was deliberately destroyed days after airing, a move unheard of for such a landmark event. 5 cameras rolled that night, standard for the show, an NBC archivist said. But 3 days later, orders came to wipe everything but the edited master. Alternate angles, commercial break moments, pre-show footage, all gone. Carson, through his Carson Productions, which owned the show's rights, demanded it, fearing unauthorized use of vulnerable moments. During breaks, Johnny got emotional, especially after Betty's song, a camera operator shared. He took nearly 2 minutes to pull himself together once. He didn't want that out there. The destruction left only the broadcast cut and 15 minutes of Ed McMahon's unedited intro, a stark contrast to preserved events like the moon landing. It's wild, a TV historian noted. Carson's farewell has less raw footage than Apollo 11. That's his power, his need for control, even after he walked away. This choice reflected Carson's era, when TV was a curated art form, not today's raw, overshared digital sprawl. Number 7. Doc Severinsen's near collapse. Doc Severinsen, the flamboyant bandleader with his vibrant suits and blazing trumpet, was Carson's right-hand man and close friend. But hours before the finale, he nearly didn't make it. Doc hadn't slept in 48 hours, obsessing over the music, a band musician revealed. Rehearsing special arrangements, chasing perfection for Johnny's big night. At noon, he collapsed in the rehearsal room, floored by exhaustion, emotion, and pressure. NBC medics urged him to sit out, suggesting assistant conductor Tommy Newsom take over. Doc wouldn't hear it. A production assistant said. He told the doctor, "Unless I'm dead, I'm leading tonight. Johnny doesn't need this on his plate." After a B12 shot and a 2-hour nap, Doc rallied. Though viewers might notice he stayed seated more, passing solos to others. He was running on pure will, a fellow musician said. It was the gutsiest performance I've seen, all for Johnny. Doc never spoke of it, keeping the focus on Carson, a testament to the loyalty that defined their 30-year bond, a brotherhood forged in the crucible of nightly TV. Number 6. The Carson-Leno backstage chill. On air, the handoff from Carson to Jay Leno looked smooth, but backstage, it was a tense ballet of avoidance. "We ran 2 worlds in one studio," an NBC page said. Separate elevators, hallways, green rooms to keep Johnny and Jay apart. Carson's disappointment that NBC picked Leno over David Letterman was an open secret in the industry, though he never bashed Leno publicly. Johnny was all class on camera, a stage manager said, but off it, he'd call Leno the next guy, never his name. Hours before the finale, Leno tried to visit Carson's dressing room to offer good wishes, only to be stopped by Johnny's assistant, Helen Sanders. "Johnny's preparing, not a good time," she said firmly, a polite but clear block. Leno backed off, the moment dripping with awkwardness. The rift lingered. Carson never appeared on Leno's Tonight Show, but sent jokes to Letterman's CBS show, a quiet nod to his true loyalty. This tension mirrored the changing TV world, where Carson's intimate, viewer-first style clashed with the flashier, corporate-driven era Leno represented. Number 5. The ovation that almost wasn't. The finale opened with a thunderous 2-minute standing ovation, a raw outpouring that visibly shook Carson. Yet, he'd begged his team to stop it. 3 days before, Johnny asked us to tell the audience not to stand, an audience coordinator recalled. He worried it'd hit him too hard to keep going. The team, led by Fred de Cordova, ignored him, betting a genuine reaction would set the right tone. Fred didn't pass on the order, a production assistant said. He knew Johnny would thank him later. When Carson stepped out to the roaring crowd, His surprise was real, his composure tested. He shot Fred a look like, "You didn't listen," a camera operator said. But after, he admitted it was perfect. That unscripted moment became one of TV's most iconic openings, balancing Carson's restraint with raw emotion, a snapshot of why he was America's late-night confidant. Number 4. Bette Midler's Marathon Ordeal. Bette Midler's heart-wrenching performance of One for My Baby and One More for the Road left Carson near tears, a defining moment. But behind it was a grueling 36-hour rehearsal saga that nearly cost her voice. Bette was relentless, a musical director said. She rented a private studio, slept on a cot between sessions, worked with 5 arrangers, rejecting 18 versions to nail the perfect, intimate take. By broadcast morning, her voice was frayed, requiring 6 hours of vocal rest, steam, and herbal fixes. It was touch and go if she'd sing, a vocal coach said. Her flawless delivery, with its emotional cracks, was partly from exhaustion, yet she never told Carson, wanting him to feel the moment unburdened. It was her gift to him, a production assistant said. She nearly broke herself for that perfection. Midler's effort reflected the era's artistry, when performers poured their souls into moments that defined a generation. Number 3. The Buried Celebrity Tributes. A secret segment, a 12-minute montage of farewell messages from icons like Presidents Nixon, Ford, Carter, Bush, and stars like Jack Nicholson and Meryl Streep, was filmed but never aired. It was a massive project, a producer said. The most star-packed tribute ever. Carson watched it a week before, thanked the team, then stunned them. "It's nice, but lock it away. We're not using it." He wanted his goodbye to center on his audience, not Hollywood's elite. Post-broadcast, he ordered all copies destroyed, ensuring no future use. "It broke our hearts," the producer said. Messages from 5 continents, gone. It was Carson's way, shunning celebrity culture, staying true to the viewers who made him, a stance that defined his everyman appeal in a glitz-obsessed industry. Number 2. Ed McMahon's Hidden Breakdown. Ed McMahon, Carson's loyal sidekick, kept his hearty laugh on air, but backstage, he unraveled. During the last commercial break, Ed stepped off and just collapsed, a stage manager said, sobbing so hard he could barely breathe. Medics worried about his blood pressure, advising he skip the final segment. With Carson unaware, reviewing his notes, Fred de Cordova scrambled to avoid a crisis. Ed refused to sit out, using cold compresses and a makeup artist's wizardry to hide his swollen eyes. He held it together by sheer will, a colleague said. His trembling hands gave it away if you looked close. Ed's grit ensured the iconic Carson McMahon farewell stayed dignified, masking his private anguish, a testament to a partnership that carried late-night TV for decades. Number 1. Johnny's unseen final words. The broadcast ended with Carson's famous, "I bid you a very heartfelt good night," but his true goodbye came after the cameras stopped. He asked the audience to stay and execs to leave, a camera operator said. In a rare, unrecorded moment, Johnny spoke to his crew and staff for 3 minutes. He got real, a staff writer recalled. Said TV was changing, not always for the better, losing its human touch to corporate noise. Then, he stunned them. "I hope I earned your trust every night. I hope I never took it for granted. And I pray they remember what this was before it's all infomercials and shouting matches." Breaking his reserve, he called his team on stage for a group embrace, a vulnerable moment he swore them to secrecy over. "Tonight was for the viewers," he said. "This is for us." It was the real Johnny, unmasked, a farewell only those in the room witnessed, a final gift to the family he built over 30 years. Carson's exit marked a turning point. TV was no longer a shared hearth, but a fragmented landscape of cable and noise. His control, from the date to the erased footage, protected a legacy rooted in authenticity, not spectacle. What hit you hardest about this hidden story? Share in the comments. And if this moved you, like, share, and subscribe. Check out more videos on your screen.